Welcome to our podcast, Below the Belt. Happy Sunday. How are you folks doing out there? How are you guys doing out there? Good to see each and every one of you. Good to see each and every one of you. We trust that you guys have been having a fantastic weekend. We told you guys you got to slow down on the weekend. You have to have some self care. You got to be gentle with yourselves on the weekend, folks. Be gentle with yourselves on the weekend. So glad to see that some of you have been following suit. We know some of you got some plans to be out with friends and family and so forth, having a nice time, enjoying life, taking it easy on a Sunday. Good to have you here with us on our international podcast, Below the Belt. We're privileged to share this time with no other than you beautiful, fantastic folks who are joining us. And today we're going to be privileged to have the Honorable Member of Parliament, Sherwin Holder, dropping by as we talk about the political gymnastics in the PPP. Can they ever be trusted? Hmm. Lots of things to talk about. That being said, lots and lots of things to talk about. And guys, I am happy that you are here. I see Mark Garrett, Garnett rather, has joined us. Susan McDonald is here. Orentia Gaynor is here as well. So glad to have such beautiful souls with us on a Sunday. Who better could we ask to spend the next 45 minutes to an hour with than these wonderful, wonderful folks like Mark and Suzanne, Orentia, and all the other folks who are joining us. Marcel Williams, who's joining us from SC Cable, Lloyd Batson, and Basil Clark. Folks, we are tremendously privileged to have each and every one of you. Good to see Penelope Howard, who is asking that she's hoping that her handsome nephew is doing well. I accept, I accept, I accept. Tommy Gibbs is here as well. Pauline Chalmers, Amanda Daniels, and Claire Capel. Marlin King, good to see you. Rod Blackman is here too. Good to see Marvin Major is up in the hizzer as well, along with Gemma George. Folks, when I don't call y'all name, y'all don't want people call y'all name ordinarily anymore, you know. People got to step up. Karen Thorne, people got to step up. Alicia Thomas. Andrew Cuthbert is here as well. Andrew is saying good morning, but it's actually afternoon where we are. More than likely, Andrew joining us from the diaspora. We know the US 1 hour behind. Y'all are always late. The Caribbean, especially this country, we about 4 generations behind. But we send the Americans are always late. Folks, good to have another Marvin with us. Is it Marvin A-OK? What's the pronunciation there? Marceline Jordan. We see you, Marceline. Diane Sultan. Rhonda Ferguson, Erwin Don Cook is here. Ian Harry is here. Shelley Durida. We see you, Shelley. Dawn Barnes or Beans, I think it's Beans. Dawn Baines, apologies there. Dawn Johnson's here too. Emily Durant. Chenille. Chenille is here with me too. Chenille Belgrave and Paulette Hardeen. Folks, we're so privileged to have each and every one of you. What political gymnastics the PPP playing here? Political gymnastics is 1 week of lies from these guys. 1 week of lies. You know, I got a little problem calling them honorable members of the National Assembly. And when I said I put an asterisk in my mind over it. Honorable members? What is wrong with these guys? It's a pack of lies whole week. And we're going to be pointing out. Marl Joseph, we're going to be pointing out is one pack of lies. Sister Mercy indeed. Wendell, VC, is it Elza Bino, Dale Glasgow, Faye Chumley Brown, Bob Annie's and Annie Bob, Wendell, Andrew, Sherry Ann Van Rossum, Sybil James, good to see you, Sybil, and Diane Graves Zandy. What about Aileen Griffith, Norton Innes? Folks, we are so privileged to have each and every one of you. I don't know about you guys, but some of you love the In the Ring program that we do. You love our morning program. FYI for your information, but I love doing the podcast. We can throttle down a gear or two, and we can just open the windows and and let our hair out, and we can flip our hair even. Allison John, good to see you there. Allison John Sullivan, John, Roxanne Aaron, Shallon Chester Pillay, Shallon Chester Pillay, Carl Fordyce. We see you, my brother. Respect and manners to each and every one of you for joining us by the hundreds as we take it easy on a Sunday. Easy on a Sunday. M. Bally Clark, the one and only M. Bally Clark. Good morning to you. Knows the bad ones is shop late. Candice Smith. Candice, good to see you. So that bad name to you in the shop late. M. Bally, good to see you. Kendra Sears. Kendra Sears. Good to see you, Kendra. Always like this name, Kendra. Kendra says, then we have Karen Clark is here too. Karen, my sister, how do you do? How do you do, Karen? Karen. Saint Romain Adams, not to be left out. Saint Romain is with us. And then we have folks like Gavin Beresford and all the others are here with us. Glensis Mingo Byrne. Glenn says, great to see you, and Angela Mills. Folks, what are we having today for lunch? What have you guys had for breakfast? Hope you stayed a little late in bed today, rolled out late, or you're rolling in late, whichever. Get some rest. Get some me time, folks. Relax, unwind. Yesterday I had some pizza. I told my wife I wanted a little wine, but then I, kind of didn't worry about that too much. But I had a shandy. I had a shandy. And I don't know, but shandy seems to bring out the flavor to me in a lot of foods. Bring out the flavor. Shandy is as much as I go with alcohol, folks. Um, you know, it bring out the flavor in that pizza I had yesterday afternoon, just easing into the weekend. Easing into the weekend. Folks, if you allow it, the work overtakes us, The work overtakes us, right? But we got to sticking time with family, time with your spouse, your friends, your loved ones. And that's why I love to spend this time with you guys. I claim it as I claim it as time rather, with friends and loved ones. Winston Kilkenny, how do you do? Paul, 63. Paul, 63. Good to see you, Paul. Paul says, good day to all. There you go. I've told them, Paul, I've told them. Carly Hendy Braffett. Carly Hendy Braffett. Oh my, Tommy Gibbs is here. Folks, today we're discussing political gymnastics in the PPP. Can these guys ever be trusted? Ever be trusted? But quite a bit of information to share with you um, as we get into our discussion there. Quite a bit of information to share with you guys, beginning with the weather. How is the weather where you are? How is the weather where you guys are? I'm reading that it's 27 degrees outside where we are. We host our international podcast from the national capital city of Georgetown. And where we are, it's 27 degrees outside. That's what they're telling us. 27 degrees outside. Yes, but they say it feels like 31. It feels like 31. And folks who are in the national capital city, perhaps even as wide as Region 4, they're telling us here on weather.com, our favorite place to come for the weather, that it's 81 degrees outside. Sorry, apologies. It's 27 degrees outside, but it feels like 31. But there's an 81% chance it's going to rain. Pack your umbrellas. Pack your umbrellas and your raincoats. If there's an 81-degree chance it's going to rain, it's going to rain, folks. It is going to rain. There's an 81% chance it's going to rain. Pack your umbrellas if you're the national capital city. That percentage probability goes down as we get into the evening with a 22% chance a little later on down. And let me take a quick look at the week, folks. Monday, 46% chance it's going to rain, and that diminishes on Tuesday, and then it picks up back again on Wednesday. So we got some rain this week. According to weather.com. Don't say I didn't want y'all. Don't say I didn't tell y'all. But that being said, folks, again, really happy to see so many of you guys joining us. Vicky Ramlogan and Winston Kilkenny. I see Sherlyn Juice Attendre is here. Amanda Daniels and all of the other beautiful folks. By way of information, FYI, as we program, I could quote them. FYI, the singer, one of my favorite singer folks, has transitioned his life at the age of 92. Indian singer Lata Mangeshkar, dubbed the Nightingale, has died. And that's some of the news we're picking up internationally. Indian singer Lata Mangeshkar. And this is a woman who knew how to belt out a tune. Who know how to belt out a tune. Look, sometimes when I look at the race problems we got in this country, it's madness, you know. All of us related. You trace with genealogy. You can see all we mix up is one cook up here, is one cook up. You understand me? Mixed with some Korean roti. One cook up rice and Korean roti on the side in this country. So I don't know this whole thing about who black and Indian and all this. It's madness. It's madness. I love me some Lata Mangeshkar, and I know a couple of the old songs by her, but some of the new ones. So I'm just there with being a millennial, just over, just over the mark. But folks, our thoughts and prayers go out to the fans, the family, and loved ones of the late Lata Mangeshkar. And I know Facebook might block me, might block us, or might say we got some copyright infringement. But I wanted to play one of my favorites, um, one of the more recent one, and this is from that epic film, Dilwali. And this one is Tadajika, and I love this one. I love this one. So our thoughts and prayers, and I say manners and respect for the body of work by Lata Mangeshkar, the fantastic Indian songbird. They call her the Nightingale, and she is gone at 92. Our thoughts and prayers. And this is one of my favorite folks. I'm going to give you a little bit of it. Hopefully, they don't cite us for copyright. Tadejeka. You all know this podcasting and workout, I got a little fallback, you know. I can pick up on my singing career. Love this one. Love this one. Respect and manners to all the fans of Lata Mangeshkar, gone at 92. I'm just playing the music. It's a beautiful piece of music. And when you add in Lata Mangeshkar's voice there, my God. Tade Jeka Doye Sana Sanum. Beautiful music. Folks, I gotta fall back, you know. One year, I gotta fall back. If this politics thing and work out, we gotta fall back. I's a boy with my things, you know. I'm a boy with my things. So for all those who love, the one and only, the songbird, the nightingale, Lata Mangeshkar, we mourn with you guys. We mourn with you guys this morning. I love that one. That's one I be blasting in the car. You see when the work day is done, I yell in home is Lata Mangeshkar in your skin. Lata Mangeshkar. Folks, listen to me. We have to be eclectic in your music choices. You know, it can't be just be dancehall every day. Love me some dancehall too, right? I love a variety of music. Some Chinese music. I love Indian music. I love Latin music, Latin American music, Spanish music. Oh my God, you got some jazz and so, folks. I tell you, self care. You know, self care. We gotta practice self care. You gotta be gentle on yourselves. And you see, if you're close to other cultures, you have problems. You know, if you are close to other cultures, you know, it is the American former first lady. I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt who said, "There is not a culture from which we cannot learn. There is not a culture from which we cannot learn." But you see this black man, Indian man nonsense we got in this country. Cut it out. Stop it. Stop it. You know, a colleague of mine, as we run Latin Mangishkar, said to me just this morning that, and she is I would say from more indigenous than anything else. She says every time she gets into a car with a a certain ethnicity, they always assume, oh, she's PPP. And so they start, oh, black man this, black man that, black man this. We got to stop this nonsense. We got to stop this nonsense. If you close yourself off from the rest of the world, might as well you just go on to the great beyond. There is so much we can learn from each other, from the cultures of each other. And I have long admired and appreciated some good Indian music. And Lata Mangeshkar is one of the greats. One of the greats, folks. One of the greats. Tremendous talent, tremendous voice, tremendous gifting. And you tell me I can't admire that because of something yagatin madness. Madness. If you close yourself to other cultures, right? People want to get a visa. They want to see this. Me want to see the States. I want to see some Oriental country. I want to see China. I want to see real culture, right? I want to see Korea, them kind of places. Some nice, I want to see some places with a difference. States, I have nothing against just love going to the US. I want to see some different, I want to learn from different cultures of the world, right? What is your worldview, right? Some of we are, because it's a street view, the street you living in, we and everybody affairs on the street. What is your worldview? Right? And if you can't say, if you don't know who Lata Mangeshkar is, one, you're living on the rock. Might I introduce you this morning? Oh, Father. Folks, I love having you guys here. Love having you guys. So, Lata Mangeshkar is gone at 92. Gone at 92, and our thoughts and prayers to all our fans and loved ones. All our fans and loved ones. Following up some other news more locally. We can tell y'all, man, it's political gymnastics. Political gymnastics, folks. Political gymnastics. Right? Political gymnastics. So, Pauline Sukai, the honorable member, quote unquote, the honorable member of the National Assembly, stood there and was one life from the next. And picking up the morning papers, I see former member of parliament Mervyn Williams taking Sukai to task today. He taken Sukai to task today. And I want to read the letter because there is so much content here that you ought to know about. They get up there and it's like lighture. You folks, you ever heard the term lighture? That was Sukai there. Taxpayers fixed Sukai mouth with a lot of money, I think it was Christopher Jones said Sukai got a whole alley on. That's the cost of dental work. It's about $3-4 million. Taxpayers' money in Sukai mouth. And one lie to the next, you would think she would come clean with the public since, they're paying for all this stuff. But here was Sukai in the National Assembly talking about the APNU AFC not granting land title to Indian villages and communities. And Mervyn Williams takes her to task in this letter to the editor. Let me run through it very quickly what Mervyn Williams said, former member of parliament. He says, during the budget debate presentation, Minister of Amerindian Affairs was clearly dishonest. The Honorable Minister has at her disposal all the records of the Amerindian land titling project and cannot claim ignorance of its work and achievements. The minister told the National Assembly of the Parliament of Guyana that the APNU AFC administration did nothing rather about Amerindian land titling. The facts prove themselves. The facts prove themselves, Mervyn says. And now when I call some of these, I gotta be careful and end up like Irfan. I gotta be careful and end up like Irfan when I call some of the name of these villages, folks. But Marvin Williams goes on in this missive to the media. He says, after the Upper Mazaruni villages refused demarcation, the following 6 villages with applications for demarcations were included in the Amerindian Land Titling Project, ALT, for the first time. Chinawing, he says. Tusining, he says. Microbi, Shia, Shulinab, St. Ignatius, those were approved for land titling. Mervyn goes on, he says, as at 2019, the requisite investigations with respect to Chinawing, Shia, Shulinab, and St. Ignatius were completed. These are now among villages that the minister boasts will soon receive titles. Now, if the thing done title off, How you can come and give title again? And this is like giving the sugar workers a second retroactive. You don't get severed, you get your severance, you get your severance, and now you're coming for another severance. All right? So you're getting a second severance. Come on, folks. Marvin concludes his letter by stating this. Of those 10, he says, 5 villages received absolute grants as follows: Tasserine, Kangurama, Asuria, Yapokari, St. Monica, and Mainstay, Wayaka. The others, he says, were ripe for titling by the time the APNU AFC demitted office. For some strange reason, there is no talk of Parabara in terms of land title. Could it be that Parabara is too rich in mineral resources and sits on too large an area of land? That's the question. Why isn't Parabara being considered for land titling? Editor, I must let your readers know that Tesserine, I hope I'm calling this name right, and Kangurama, Asuria, were given fake titles in 2012 by the PPPs. You see why it says Whole Week the Lion? They give the people fake titles in 2012. It's just like them. Can they ever be trusted? Documents purporting to be valid titles to their lands were handed over to the Tushaus. They benefited from photo opportunities, they like them, after which they purported title documents were withdrawn. Williams concludes by saying President Granger, during his term in office, corrected this injustice. Proper research will prove that the PNC, whether by itself or in coalition with the other partners, has always ensured that indigenous land titles receive proper attention. The Amerindian Land Titles Commission Act, the work of the Amerindian Land Commission, and the award of absolute grants to close to 90 villages in 1976 and 1991 proves this beyond doubt. Signed, Marvin Williams. Lie, one pack of lie from the PPP after the next. One pack of lies from the PPP after the next. One set of lies they're going with. One set of lies they're going with. That's how they operate, you know. One set of lies. And then we got Nigel Darmlal, another one who stood in the National Assembly and lied. Folks, hold up. How we can ever trust these people? How? Y'all tell me how. Right? How are we going to ever trust the Jacobats and the trench crappos? How? Right. So there was Nigel Darmlal with the worst presentation of the whole cabal in the National Assembly in the pinstripe salmon pink suit, lying through his teeth, lying, untruths, misinformation, propaganda, lies. Right? One pack of lie to the next. Lying like when harsh strutting. Right? Lying like when harsh strutting people. How can we ever trust these folks? Listen to Nigel Darmlal in the National Assembly just this week. He talking here about streets that were done in Mocha Arcadia on the East Bank. Listen to him. Listen to the fella.
See, and Apnu could not do a single street. We did 3 streets in Mocha. 3 streets in Mocha, including tell them Nemo Flu, including Bornham Boulevard.
And then we show a video here. You know, there's a video circulating on social media showing you current Burnham Boulevard. Right? Showing you Burnham Boulevard currently full of potholes. Full of potholes. Another lie. You know, how these folks can see Allah? How they can see Muhammad? How they can see Jesus? How? You tell me how? How they can see the Almighty? When they're lying like this? when they are lying like this. You tell me how they can see the Almighty, folks. That's what I want to know. Huh? Nadia Seaford, how they can see the Almighty. Penelope Howard. Huh? Penelope says a liar is a thief. Penelope Howard in her comment on Facebook, a liar is a thief and a thief is a murderer. Sister Mercy, that's what the man said. Lie? You hear lie? Teacher Percy say if you tell a lie, you go into hell as soon as you die. Is lie. Right? Is lies. Lie chore. That these are these people, you know. Huh? Lie after lie after lie after lie. You hear lie? That was lie. The evidence is clear. The evidence in Mocha is clear. The land titling issue, it is clear. It is clear as day. The people got the title. A number of villages were earmarked for land title. Right? And then Damlal caught in the slips. Caught in the slips. Right? Caught in the slips. Another lie. Right? How you gonna able some of them, man? How? Huh? It's just lie. Lie, man. It's lie. You hear lie? One life to the next, man. Andrew Cuthbert, right? They must go. We want lies in this place. One set of lies. It's lie, it's lie, it's lie, it's lie, it's lie, it's lie, it's lie. Yeah. It's Darmlal and Sukai win. Darmlal and Sukai win. Darmlal and Sukai win, people. Darmlal and Sukai win. It's lie, it's lie. It's lie, people. So that was the week. That was the week. But we're happy. They ain't ready for social media, you know. They aren't ready for social media. We check them in real time. We fact check them. In real time is lie. It's lie. Pay some power, Andrew Cuthbert. Pay some power in 2022. It's pure lies. Teacher Percy said if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die is lie. That's what it's telling. So when you had those two things, happening, folks. You had those two things happening. And then you got earphone. Folks, we tell y'all, earphone is just earphone. You ask people about Papa Jagabat, they can tell you. He's a scam, he's a thief. Huh? You ask them about the little Jagabat, baby Jagabat, in the pink stripe. Ask them about baby Jagabat. They can tell you, they know who he be too. But when you ask people the earphone, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. The struggle is real, folks. This struggle is real. We're fan concerned. This struggle is real. Ask people, they can tell you. Yeah? The earphone is just earphone. So their earphone was yesterday, folks. Picking up yourself with the UG valedictorian. Y'all know earphone went UG and followed in second year, right? That's how he ended up at IFLOT and he got this degree from an institution that didn't offer degrees, one, and that weren't and who weren't accredited either. Right? All that's lie. All that is lie, folks. So here was Irfan bigging up himself with these valedictorians and so forth. But the words get in the way. Folks, if you all know music, I want to play too many the songs today. At least the copyright people will come after we. When y'all see this video get flagged for copyright, y'all know why. So there, Irfan was. And the words, Gloria Estefan. Right? Y'all remember that song, The Old Soul? That folks, the young ones won't remember. But I want to tell the young people listening, we big, but we stupid. We big, but we got sense. So there, Irfan was bigging up himself, folks. He there. Bigging up himself. The valedictorian from IFLOT, IFLOT University. Bigging up himself. Right? Listen, folks, listen to me. There's no shame. There's no shame. Hold up, folks. Hold up. Who's sharing this live stream? Who's smashing the emoji button, folks? Who's smashing it? Who's smashing it? Who's sharing the live stream? And who's smashing the emoji button? Let me tell you something. If you're reading something, all right? You're reading something, and you come to a big word, you just say big word. You just say big word, and you keep moving on, right? Don't make yourself an earphone. You see a big word, you just say, listen, big word. You jump over, right? Like if you see we're reading this our theme for today, our theme for discussion, political gymnastics. You made gymnastics you can't cut, you just say political, big word in the PPP. Political, big word in the PPP. Can they ever be trusted? And you just go on like that, smooth as ever, smooth as butter. Butter, 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 smooth as butter. Political, big word in the PPP. And you just move on nicely. So here, Earphone was picking up himself for the national stage, embarrassing we one more time. What more could we ask for? As the Cooperative Oil Producing Republic of Guyana, what more could we ask for? One more embarrassment on the national stage. Folks, take a listen. Here for yourself. I ain't want you to say like, right? And then y'all start quoting Teacher Percy on me. Listen to Earphone in his own words. Listen to the fella. Hold on, let me take it back. Let me take it back from the start. All right, Sherrod, remember to take off the mute button. Remember that. And then press play. Sherrod, remember. Note yourself. Note yourself. Folks, it's self-care. Self-care Sunday. Be gentle with yourselves. Be gentle. Take it easy, Sherrod. You can get through it.
You have now been inducted into that special grouping who have been designed as among the finest graduates of the University of Guyana. Your achievement as valedictorians attests to your commitment to academic excellence. Valedictorians, 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 valedictorians. You have now been.
Now, folks, hold up, hold up, hold up. I would like to assume, it's an assumption, I might be wrong. I would like to assume that some point in Irfan life, he has come across this word, right? He's come across this word. And we got the internet now. You could put in any word on Facebook, you put a comma behind it, and then you put pronunciation. And Facebook can tell you more often than not what is the pronunciation of this word, right? I am sure, according to he, having done about 3 degrees, a master's degrees, and a doctorate, I would assume that somewhere, people, somewhere, along that academic road, Ephraim has encountered the word valedictorian. Somewhere, people, along his journey to higher education and higher learning, Irfan would have encountered this word on his Damascus road to high achievement, valedictorian. So it boggles the mind, folks. It boggles the mind how we got to valedictorians. Valedictorians. Look, I like watch my what do you call it? Disney Plus, right? And Disney Plus has a series that is a spin-off from the Star Wars, and there's a Maladorian. I don't know if Irfan watching too much Disney Plus, trying to follow we. You can't style us, Don't try to stunt because just like that, we could cause it. I don't know if he saw valedictorian and he said, maladorian was his word. But again, folks, in his own words, I want you quote Teacher Percy. This is the fella. The fella, you remember he was sitting next to the other one? He said, this man got 19 fraud charges. Maybe all that. It's too much. It's pressure. Pressure bust pipe. Earphone one more time. Earphone. It's just earphone.
Inducted into that special grouping who have been designed as among the finest graduates of the University of Guyana. Your achievement as valedictorians attests to your commitment to academic excellence. Valedictorians, 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 valedictorians. You have now been inducted
Oh,
into that
yes.
special grouping.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I don't know what y'all make of it, folks. I don't know. I don't know. But it's only so much. Only so much, people. One country could take. It's only so much. I don't know about you, but it's only so much, people. It's only so much. I tell you, every day I watch I watch the I watch the drawers. I watch the chester of drawers where you got your clothes. The chester of drawers. And I look at my suitcases. I look at my bags. And I said, buy with my things, you know. I said, look, it's only so much we can take, you know. It's only so much. You understand me? And like Lata Mangishkar, I want to achieve my potential before I transition this life here. It's only so much you can take, people. It's only so much. It's only so much. Right? I mean, you never come across this word before in your life, folks. And you are on a whole country. Cha. Is a whole country you are on? Is a whole country? Huh? A whole country? Folks, hold on. Oh, Father, help me. Father, help me. Y'all think it's easy in this place? Aye, Father, have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. Folks, we're privileged to be joined, or rather be joined shortly, by the one and only Sherwin Holder. The one and only Sherwin Holder. The man, myth, and legend. he's the he's the chairman of the People's National Congress Reform, and he's also member of parliament, chairman of the People's National Reform, member of parliament. Folks, Sherwin Holder is with us this morning.
Afternoon.
Sherwin, a very good afternoon to you, and thanks for joining us on such short notice.
No problem.
Sherwin, how are you doing, my brother? A little bird has whispered to us. You on a self care Sunday. You being gentle with yourself this weekend. You outside. How are you doing,
I'm a
Sherwin?
field person. I'm good. I was actually just taking lunch and I saw your call.
What are you having for lunch at your end?
I'm having some seasoned rice with baked chicken up top and with some macaroni and garden salad.
I want living your economy guy.
I,
Sherwin, is this a sitting of the National Assembly nobody told me of? Because things are tight in this country. You have to go out to eat properly.
I'm at a friend
Mhm,
party, so I had the luxury of having a good meal. I
mhm,
know things tight, but
mhm.
we're having a good meal.
Well, I want a couple rich. I
You must
want a
have it
couple
once
rich
in a
friends
while.
like you. I want a couple rich friends like you, Sherwin. Because what you eating on a regular Sunday is birthday food for me.
It's like the parliament.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. That's why when you call the menu, I say you at Parliament because I need so. The only time I eat so good is at Parliament because things tight and the taxpayers treat us with that courtesies as member of Parliament. So treat us a good lunch when we go there and battling these trench crappos and jacobats. So I say
Yeah,
you island Parliament and nobody tell me or is your birthday, but you told us it's a friend house you buy.
I think probably as party chairman, the comrades decide little treat. Maybe.
Oh
And I see
yes, yes,
in the
yes,
country
yes.
here they got a good garden with good boro and other vegetables, so they don't have to
Yep. I feel the love on your behalf there, Sharon. I feel the love.
buy.
But I wanted to catch
Yeah.
up with you on I know we're talking about the political gymnastics of the PPP and whether they can ever be trusted. But before we get into that, for just a bit, I know that the leader of the PNCR is doing a lot of groundwork. So I'm just this week somewhere on the East Coast. Tell us how that is going. Meeting the people is so important. Politics is always local, the people say.
Yeah, Sherrod, we campaigned and the leader campaigned on a platform being on the ground to the people. And so he has done exactly that for the last couple of weeks. We've been moving it from place to place. We were in Mocha Arcada looking at the people's issues there with the road, with the highway passing through
Hmm.
that community and where the government is trying to remove those portions. We went to Nabaklis where the farmers have been complaining and you would have heard me in Parliament speak to that issue.
Hmm.
He was in Golden Grove and a number of other communities on the East Coast. Currently, we are in Bartica now on the ground again, meeting with party comrades, connecting, and moving things forward. The best place to be is on the ground, Sherrod. That is where you get the kind of understanding what is happening in this country. You get that kind of feedback so that you can make the necessary representations to these people. And that is why in our presentations in the parliament, we've been constantly banging that this budget, this 2022 budget, is not a poor budget, and it's unfit for purpose, taken in the context that it's an oil budget, oil where they have hundreds of oil revenue being pumped into it, but you cannot really see anything significant for the poor.
Yep. On all counts, on all counts. And folks, take not our word for it. I love that Sharon has mentioned that, because there's nothing fit for the poor. Don't take we work. Just yesterday, here is a Sabbath News editorial talking about this. And I want to quote the last part of that editorial. It is titled, or rather, the header for the editorial is "High Hopes and High Prices." And here's what it says, Sharon. However one looks at it, this feels very much like inflationary times at the moment, when the people are expecting a better standard of living. In this interval, the size of the chasm between technicolor dreams painted by the government and the lived reality of the working class Guyanese can also be a measure of the country's political stability. The greater the disconnect, the higher the dissatisfaction. In this respect, more could have been done in this budget for the working poor, but the government has chosen its path and must now look to preach patience while promising the moon. Yep.
That's an Sherrod. I think in a nutshell, it really captures it. It says all that you want to say about this budget
Yep.
in a nutshell there. It is true that it would produce high inflation. The public would note that during our tenure in government, we had the lowest inflation rate. Lowest inflation rate. I want to stress that. But when you look at this budget here, it's all inflation. My understanding of inflation, too much money chasing after too little goods.
Mm-hmm.
And in that context, there is not much investment in agriculture. You would have expected that a heavy investment in food, because food prices is what is complaining about, the high cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
And so one would have expected that they would have pumped a lot of resources into the agriculture sector. And when I say the agriculture sector, I would exclude Gaitsuku, because that's a different topic for a different discussion, Sherrod.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have expected at minimum, serious measures to deal with agriculture, and also flooding, because they're blaming the high cost on the floods. But when you examine the facts, it is not only about the floods. They should have been investing heavy in agriculture, especially the other crops, ordinary food items. I'm not talking about the big rice and sugar, but ordinary crops.
Yep.
And
Well said.
when you look at the flooding, when you look at the budget, and I drilled the Minister of Agriculture on this, because I'm also the chairman of the Economic Services Committee, and I drilled him on what measures this government is putting in place to deal with these record high rainfalls that we're having. And they're saying, they keep complaining, if you read the budget, that everything that dropped, basically they blame it on the flood and COVID. Two things they blame it on. So I asked him, what exactly is this government policy to deal with these high level of rain? What kind of expansion in the drainage system and that sort of thing. But he could not answer, other than saying, the ordinary, laying out the ordinary work that is expected, cleaning of canals, and a little repairs and maintenance here and there on the sluices. But we're not seeing anything significant, Sherrod. So we can expect more floods again in 2022.
Yep. And as you talk about inflation, I want the public to know that in the first full year in office, they projected inflation would have been 1.6, and according to the numbers we have crunched, the actual inflation has been higher at 5.7. Sherwin, 5.7.
Yeah.
They projected 1.6. That's the only thing
Yeah,
that gone up.
that is
Everything else
how
fall down.
this government operates. When you look at the budget, they paint it as something all glowing and beautiful. There is much pump. There is much pump about this 2022 budget. But when we look at the facts, when we examine it line by line, we recognize that there is nothing there for the poor. It's only the higher class of people that will get something from it. Take, for example, they're waiving this tax, or they're removing the tax, rather, the excise tax on these double cab vehicle. Who buys? Who has money to buy double cab pickup, Sherrod? It is the rich people. So
Yep.
that doesn't benefit the poor. And it reminds me of when they were boasting about removal of this water, they reduced the water rate. And when you check by 5%, and what it meant was $100, 5 minutes. It reminds me of that. But in fact, who really gets the real benefit? The big companies that consumes, thousands upon thousands, their benefit. So everything this government does, it's for the rich and not for the working poor. Not for the working poor. We would have expected them to raise the tax threshold to at least $125,000. Because when we calculate rent, you got to pay rent, you got bills to pay, you got your children to send to school, and all these different expenses, it amounts to over $100,000. And we're not talking about keeping something in the bank later.
Correct.
No savings included there. So again, we proposed, I think your AFC leader proposed at least 100,000. The PNC said 125. They could have settled, let's say, 115.
Correct.
Somewhere between there. But there is absolutely nothing for the poor or the working poor, Sharon.
Correct.
What they boast about is the $3,000 that they give to the pensioners. They boast about the $3,000 that they give to the pensioners. Some of these pensioners, just for them to get a transfee to go and collect the money, might be about $3,000. So I don't see the logic in it. I will remind your listeners and your viewers that the APNU AFC coalition raised that pension by 55%.
Correct.
And we only had 3 budgets to do it, because then you had the no confidence motion. So it could not have been raised any further. But in their campaign manifesto, they promised the pensioners $40,000. And what do they give them? $3,000. So the Honorable Ashley Singh said, I understand that I have a problem with mathematics. Now, a simple error was made in the presentation, and he picked it up. As the big finance minister, he thought that is something that he's supposed to run with across the country.
Yeah.
Sherwin Holder, the chairman of the PNC, does no math. An insignificant error in the budget presentation.
But Sherwin,
but he runs with it.
The irony is that these are the folks who nobody got confidence in, and these are the folks whose math nobody trusts, because they're trying to convince me that this budget, with all their math and good maths, is good for us. But nobody's buying that across the political divide. And I'm seeing a comment here, Sharon, by one Adam Passad. I want Adam know that all are welcome on these programs, even if you have a contrary view, especially if you have a contrary view. Sharon, he says, Mr. Holder, inflation is rising all over the world, including the US. But this is not our view alone, Adam. Again, Starbuck News, and I choose these quote unquote independent daily newspapers because I ain't want you to say bias. I ain't want you to say, oh, it's App New AFC, because that's all people can see us. You're never just Sharon Holder is the opposition. So they can attack the budget anyhow. But in that very editorial, Starbuck News recognized, as Adam is saying here, that yes, you got all of this shipping and logistics issues, and some of the importation costs going to rise because of that. But Starbucks News makes the point as well. How come pumpkin gone up? Ambora, that's selling right up the road by the Bacarnally side street. How come all of those things gone up? So if Alan Passat could tell us, how come stuff that is produced right here,
Exactly.
ginger and so on, gone up? Then I can see
Exactly.
some potency in what he's saying. Sherwin.
What is the name of the fellow? Because I want to address him by his name.
Adam Passad.
Adam Bassar, his real name. Yes, there is inflation all over the world, but and if he's saying the US and all over, look, the US accepts that it has, but they are putting measures in place to deal with it.
Talk the things.
Guyana
Talk the
is
things.
doing nothing. All the minister and the government says is that, oh, there is inflation. Accept it. Again, I go back to the point that invest heavy in agriculture, ensure that we get those crops, ensure that we have significant growth in the ordinary crops like and plantains and all these ordinary crops.
Talk
Do
the
you know
things.
that ordinary crops, I believe, the ordinary crops, the magnitude of the ordinary crops in this country challenges rice. It challenges rice. Not to say that rice is not important, but the magnitude of it across the country. So it's important that we invest in agriculture. Once we have an abundance of food, it will help to bring those costs down.
Yep. Sherwin, you know what?
So we need to put in place, Sherrod. That is what the gentleman needs to understand. And you don't just defend PPP because you or whatever. You have to have a balanced view on it. Not because the world is saying that, oh, we have inflation. It's the same thing they're saying about COVID. All over has COVID, so we should just lay back and die. We don't put measures in place to deal with it.
The devil is a liar.
To ease the spread, to stop the death, we don't put measures in place. And it brings me to the point: the minister of health in Parliament spent a majority of his time, in political theatrics, I call it, and rather than dealing with the core issue of COVID. What are the measures he plans to put in place to reduce the spread of COVID and reduce the deaths? Instead, he goes off and talks about empty hospital that they came in and met, and that's the hospital that is saving them now.
Correct,
they had three budgets, and they're still repeating that garbage rather than address the issues that are affecting Guyanese.
That's right.
That is their responsibility as a government.
Talk the things. And Adam, I would commend Starbucks News' editorial yesterday to you. This is the 5th of February, 2022. And Sharon, I'm going to run through some of the comparisons that Starbucks News made. Unless you, I'm going to say now that Starbucks News app, new AFC. Cassava, previously $60, is now $200. Plantain, 60 or 2 pounds 100 is now 200 a pound. Sweet potato, 60 to 80 a pound is now 220 a pound. Belanje, 3 for 200 is now 3 for 500. Cucumber, 100 for 1. Squash was 100, now 300. Pumpkin, according to Starbucks News, still cheap. Orange, 4 for 500. Ginger was 360 a pound. This is Starbucks News I'm quoting, word for word. Ginger was 360 a pound, is now $800. Celery was 300, is now $800. Cooking oil was selling for 320 a small bottle, is now $580. Bread was 260, is now $300. Flour was 420, is now $480. Butter was 460, is now $560. Tuna 180 is now $240. Bangamary was 6 or 7 for 1,000, is now 4 or 5 for 1,000. White belly shrimp was 300 a pound, is now $1,000 a pound. Whole chicken was 1,200, is now 1,600. See, you see, Sharon, when you tell me you're having chicken for lunch, I say, is your birthday at Parliament? Duck was 460, is now $800. Beef was 400 a pound, is now $8,000 a pound. Sugar is 60, is now $100 a pound. Milk powder was 400 a pack, is now 540. So when Adam Prasad says all over the world things raise, importation, we give you that. Importation, and even some of that is being raised to unrealistic prices. But how do you account for things that growing right here up the street? Huh? Up the street, around the corner, by the side alley in the backyard, is these prices they're attracting now.
Exactly.
How you account for that?
Those items that you listed there are the everyday items that people need and people use to survive in this country. And I'm shocked with those prices. Those are pretty moderate prices, because I know in some areas they're much more expensive. For example, a
Exactly.
squash, to get a decent
Exactly.
squash is $500. Some areas plantain, and some regions plantain is $300. So and ginger $1,000 a pound. So I know those are moderate prices, Sherrod. But whenever I go into the market, I always tell the people, I ask the question, how does the poor survive in this country? How does the poor? Because as a parliamentarian, I find those prices very high when I go to shop. And so I wonder every time I go to the poor, people are surviving. And we have a government who has an opportunity. They have access to oil. They have an opportunity that no other government had before, no other president had before in the history of this country.
No other president.
In the history of this country, hundreds of millions of dollars, and there is nothing for the poor, Sherrod. Instead, what we see is a widening of the gap between the rich and the poor. If you examine the budget, you look at the measures, you recognize that that is exactly what these guys are doing. This is the same old PPP from 1992 to 2015, Sherrod.
Yep. Now, this is another point. Folks, they say, we don't mind the country if you know. Here is Adam again. Here's Adam again. Adam says, Mr. Duncan, like I said, people are greedy and will try to make as much money on the back of poor people. And yes, we accept that, but the government got to come down and institute policies that penalize these people. You can't just chop your hand and allow the producers and the farmers, you understand me, to bring prices on people that can kill we. You can't eat to live and try and kill your damn self. So it's still the government has a big responsibility.
Exactly, Sherrod. They have to recognize that fact and bring to the board certain measures to ensure that the poor is protected and their interest is well taken care of. Now, I see a measure in the budget, what they claim will deal with that. Exactly that's what Adam is talking. Their proposal is to put 2 or 3 village markets. 2 or 3 village markets in here. You know, it's nonsensical. Are you going to put village markets in every village? Because there is this claim that when the people buy from the farm, they are the ones that raising up the price. So their solution to that is to have village markets.
Why
How many
open
village
the whole damn
markets you
farm
gonna
and sell
have?
the price cheap? And they should open the whole damn farm. The government. That's what they should do. Right? If Mustafa knows so much about agriculture, open a government farm so you can sell produce dirt cheap. Put your money where your mouth there, Mustafa. But this is where we are.
Exactly.
This is where we are, Sharon. Is, you know, what do we tell the Guyanese people? I see hundreds of persons joining us on a Sunday. Folks, like things tight by y'all too. You know, but we're so grateful. Hundreds of persons watching us across social media.
The struggle is real, Sarah.
What do we tell the folks? The struggle is real.
The struggle is real in this country, and the government needs to recognize that it's their third budget. They have they had much pump about this budget and what it will do for the poor, and it's the same thing we had on the budgets before. The previous 2021 budget, they call it something about resilience. and the 2020 budget was some other thing. I can't remember, but none of those budgets delivered for the people. None of them delivered for the people. They delivered for the rich. That I can.
Yep. Folks, this is where we are. This is where we are. The unbridled truth, the unvarnished facts. This is where we are. Sharon, I know you're busy on the ground there. I don't want to detain you much longer at this time, but I want to thank you for spending this time with us. And may you guys on the ground there have good success in all you're doing. And enjoy. Look, listen to me, Sharon, wherever you're there, if you can lash another plate of food and call my name, please. I beg you.
I see. I noticed. Jagdeo saying that we will meet with our leader, our new leader.
That is the question that eluded me to ask. Yeah, Sharon. You're absolutely right. And I want to know what's this gymnastics about. Jagdeo hold one press conference. He see all the ministers in parliament failing to convince people on this budget. So he tried to be the guru and the wizard, right? And the witch. So he hold a press conference on the sidelines of the National Assembly meeting to debate this budget. Talking from one madness to the next, everything geared a distraction. Then he plugs in there that catfish, Irfan will be willing to meet with Mr. Norton when he becomes leader of the opposition. No sooner he says that, you got Robert Stamp Phillips coming out because we said to Robert Stamp Phillips in the National Assembly, how come the vice president, who is junior to him according to the hierarchy in government, the prime minister is the first vice president? And I asked him across the National Assembly, I said, Phillips, how come Jack, you holding all the press conference and you ain't holding none? Lo and behold, Phillips comes out yesterday and says that the Irfan will only meet with Mr. Norton if he accepts that the government is legitimate. What kind of gymnastics is this? One day something is it, and then they bend over backward for something else. What madness is this, Sherman?
First off, the press conference with Jagdeo, I think that press conference was held because he thought that they were being beaten badly.
and the
opposition
He was right.
did a great job at exposing what the budget didn't have in it. Anything for the poor. And so I believe that is the basis of his press conference. Now we need some distraction. You need to put in a few things that distract away from the opposition beating them badly in the budget. And so he came up with certain things in that press conference. But I think two other reasons why he mentioned Irfan's willingness to meet with Mr. One, I think it's diplomatic pressure. I think the diplomatic community recognizes the undemocratic nature of the PPP and the fact that they have been constantly violating the Constitution, which dictates, which commands that the president meets with the leader of the opposition. And there's no condition except the president being the president and the opposition leader being the opposition leader. There's absolutely no condition towards that. And so I believe that the diplomatic community is unhappy with what has been happening in Guyana since this government. And so now we're seeing some pressure being put on them. Secondly, I believe he knows that Norton is no poke, for the want of a better word. He can't push Norton around, and he knows Norton fits. And so he puts this thing out there that Irfan is willing to meet with Norton. But no sooner then you have Mark Phillips now comes out with that garbage once again. That if Norton recognizes, nobody has to recognize him. The Constitution, the only thing that recognizes you as the president, you recognize through, or rather what legitimizes you, it's through election.
Correct.
That is the only thing. Nothing that the leader of the opposition says, nothing that the president says, nothing that anybody says legitimizes you. But his problem is the fact that there is an election petition. This election was challenged by the opposition. And so the only thing that will give him legitimacy is the conclusion of the petition.
Correct.
That is the basis of him being the legitimate president.
Correct
And
is right.
so I don't buy this garbage about Norton having to recognize him. What I see is that Dio also putting up what he wants to discuss. He wants to discuss the constitutional, the appointments, the constitutional appointments. Suddenly he wants to discuss that. But it needs to be a agenda. The president not dictate solely on a part level what the agenda must be.
Well,
This needs to be a meaningful engagement.
very much
And
so.
so any engagement has to be balanced from. So that much I would say at this point in time on that issue.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Sharon, I want to thank you for spending this time with us, folks. Sharon Holder is a member of the National Assembly, and as well, Sharon Holder is the chairperson of the People's National Congress Reform. Sharon, I know you're busy on the ground there. Thanks for spending this time with us today, sir. Pace and power. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sherrod, and thanks to your audience.
Yep. There you have it, folks. That's our program today. The one and only member of parliament, the honorable Sharon Holder, joining us today, folks. When you consider the PPP them, when you consider them boys, how far? What can tell y'all? What else I can tell y'all? When you consider them and how they stay, how they be, what I can tell y'all? Is a pack of lies. Is a pack of lies. What I can tell you is when you consider them, lie after lie after lie after lie. Lie? Yeah? Yeah? Oh. So Jack, you made it song as though they're willing to meet with Apnu AFC, was rather the leader of the opposition without precondition. Yeah? But you know what it was? That's what it was. It was lie, people. It was lie. It was lie. It's lie. Sukai lying. Jack Joe lying. Irfan lying. That's what it be. That's what it is. Huh? Lie. Darmlal? Lie, 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 lie. That's all it is, folks. A pack a lie, a pack a lie. Thanks for spending this time here with us, guys. Before you go and show you, share the live stream. Gavin Beresford and Brenda Braffett, run along. Desiree Rodriguez, Candy Naleen, Inderjeet, folks. That's our time today, unfortunately. Paul Singh, that's my time. Deborah Cox and Don Morgan, Pamela Dover. That is my time, folks. Don't worry the lies they're telling, folks. Don't worry with the lies they're telling. Good to have you all here, folks. Help us to continue these programs and broadcasts. Help we know. Partner with us. Partner with we so that we can continue to do these programs. Build out the programs, folks. So much in store. Folks, I told you all when the year started, haven't I been faithful? I said we got with things. I said we's a people with things. We come in bigger, we got more show, we got more this, we got more that, we got the terror, we got the next. We's a people with things. We launched the podcast last year. This is our 60th podcast. This is our 60th podcast. And I hope we are right here together when we do we 600th. We 600th. Right? We 600 podcasts. Folks, you know, I heard Sharon there fumbled with a word. I said to myself, I hope Sharon don't become the valedictorian. The valedictorian. I hope. But Sharon, being true to form, Sharon is an engineer by training, represented himself. He pulled back, and then we got the right word there. I hope he didn't end up like a valedictorian. Folks. You guys make this program what it is. So we launched the podcast, and then we launched the morning program. When I tell y'all, we come in, thing there, more thing there, you know. More thing there, folks. Hold on. Because of you, it's not because of we, it's because of you. Help us to keep moving forward. Pace and power in 2020. I tell y'all, pace and power. Folks, we got several avenues available that you guys can come on board and partner with we. We got Cash App, we got big. We got big international. If you got international podcast, you got get international platform. So we got Cash App is a dollar sign or symbol in the ring 592. And that's our Cash App handle. We are also available via Zelle, and we're available as well via PayPal. And both of them is the same email address, in the ring 592 at gmail.com, in the ring 592 at gmail.com. Folks, we also have the MMG system, the local cash app, the GTT system. Y'all know all the time we call it GTT name. And beginning up the Never Mr. Duncan, hold this little thing to this thing. We see y'all giving me some free ads. More people probably using our system now. We can give you all a little freck to keep you all going. GTT, GTNT. Somebody at GTNT, tag somebody at GTNT for winning, man. Oh. So we at MMG as well, the local cash app, we call it. And our number there is 627 6963. 627 6963. And of course, we there with Western Union, we there with MoneyGram. They too can come and give you a little blind for all this free advertising we're giving them. Cash App too, and PayPal too. That being said, folks, more thing there. More thing there. Good to have each and every one of you on with us. Warnella Garnett and Diane Graves, Andy, Osmond Edwards, and Warnella. We see you, Warnella. Warnella Garnett, we see you. Osmond Edwards, we see you too. Candy Nadine, Indigit, you guys have a fantastic rest of the weekend. Stay safe. Stay safe. Get some rest. Get some relaxation. Mix and mingle with friends and so forth. Right? Self care, folks. Be gentle with yourselves. See you guys tomorrow back at 8 for FYI, our morning show. FYI at 8 tomorrow, guys. See you there. Stay safe. Stay safe.